Okay. Talk to me a little bit about that collaboration with Content Forum. I understand it was a collaborative process. These are self-regulation guidelines and completely voluntary. So what was some of the key inputs that were important to Netflix that you wanted to champion, but also some of the maybe trade-offs that you had to think about? And how will you be measuring your own compliance with these self-regulations?
Yeah. So the world of entertainment has significantly changed in the past 20 to 30 years, right? So in the past, if you're consuming content largely from TV, um, the content that you would see would be pushed upon you as opposed to you, the consumers, is pulling. And the sets rules of regulations that would apply to conventional or free-to-air TV is, I wouldn't say it's outdated, but it's completely different on how it should be applicable to services like ours as well. With services like us, and the online curated content, it is a very new space. I mean, we've only been operational in many parts in Southeast Asia only maybe 5 to 6 years ago. So there needs to be a new form of regulation that is established, right? We're not saying no to regulation, but we are trying to advocate for regulations that could be a win-win solution, not only for the industry, but also makes sense as well for our government while we are protecting the citizens and our subscribers as well. When I met Puan Madiha and as well as the Content Forum actually a year and a half ago, we thought that this concept was a concept that should be not only the pioneer in the region, but it should be replicated in many markets as well. And the rationale behind it is that this is a new way of trying to tackle issues where, normally regulators in the region, because the sheer amount of content that exists in online curated content, it would be impossible for any regulator to screen, to censor or to rate or classify all of the content that exists, right? So this concept of self-regulation allows the industry or allows the players that sign up all to be part of that kind of content forum or this kind of association to actually have certain measures in place to be the responsible player in the market as well. And just to ensure that the content that we deliver carries out and meet the standard norms that has been decided by the association or by the content forum. So, the content forum, when you look at the online content code, there are certain types of titles or certain genres of titles where we have agreed that we will not carry out this type of content, okay? So that is an area that we feel it's in our mission to entertain the world, we want to make sure that we are aligning ourselves. The other part I would say that is very useful, and I advocated very strongly for this as well, is just to make sure is that if governments want us to be held accountable, we want to make sure that we have all of the right measures in place on our services to make sure that our kids, my kids, when they watch the content, they are watching the right and age-appropriate content as well. So I'm specifically talking about the kids profiling, the parental pin controls, ensuring that certain kids profile can watch certain kind of age-gated content as well. So all of those measures in place, it's actually part of the content code. And my hope is that this content code could be replicated in other markets as well, and Malaysia being the pioneer of it.
That's very interesting. Are you saying that other markets don't quite have the same type of self-regulation for OCC platforms?
I think they're getting there. I think they're a lot more open now to actually have some of those conversations. I'm having conversations with the Philippines government, with the Indonesian government on this as well through the multiple channels. But the reality is that Malaysia is front and center, and I'm hoping that because of the success of Malaysia, other governments in the region will be much more open with this concept of a self-regulation model.
Ruben, thank you so much for speaking with me. Ruben Hattari from Netflix there, wrapping up this episode of Consider This. I'm Melissa Idris, signing off for the evening. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.